Welcome back to the BTS Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Andrea. Joining me today is Morgan. Are you ready to talk about some blind items?
Yes, I love blind items.
So these are from a site I go to. It's called Crazy Days and Nights. Wait, let me check the URL. crazydaysandnights.net.
I've never heard of it.
Okay, it's a website, and supposedly it's a guy in Hollywood. He claims to be a 300-pound entertainment lawyer, and hence why he gets so many tips about people in Hollywood and celebrities is because he has connections from working there.
What does his weight have to do with it, though?
I don't know. He's just used that to describe himself.
Okay, disgusting. Right. Is he really? Anyway, move on.
I don't know. He's anonymous, so that may not be true at all, but
Probably isn't true.
that would be a good thing to lie about, just to like throw people off. Because like, how many 300-pound lawyers are there?
I'm guessing he's lying, because if you were 300 pounds and he was an entertainment lawyer in LA,
someone could figure out who that is.
well, I mean, there's probably one person who fits that description, right?
Right.
At most, he could easily be identified. My guess is he is not a 300-pound entertainment lawyer. Or even a he.
That's true. We don't know any.
Right.
It could be a
woman.
woman.
I would guess that that's just to throw people off.
Yeah.
But move on. Yeah. He has blind items.
He goes by the name NT Lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And when this site started out, he came into contact with a lot of these celebrities personally, and that's how he came into all this information. But now it's like everybody sends tips to him if you're someone who like attends an award show or whatever, or you personally work with a celebrity and you want to leak something or whatever. Anyway, he gets a lot of information, and the reason I wanted to do this segment is like every once in a while he has a K-pop blind item.
Oh, really? That's weird. That's from far away.
I guess he gets tips from wherever, so. And I would see them on his website, and I'd be like, oh my God, that's crazy. Is that real? And it's like, I want to see what people are saying about this blind item. And I go to the comments, and they're like, "Who's that? Who's that group?"
Well, yeah.
Like these people,
in America, people don't understand who it is.
They have no idea K-pop people, and they don't get the momentous importance of if these are true.
Right. Well, that almost lends him more credibility because there's no benefit to him to put it out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Him or her.
So I wanted to read some of these, and let's see if we think it's true or if we think it's like who they're talking about. So let's see. Here's one. This one, and he gets a lot from award shows. So just like the random no-name people that attend award shows, obviously a lot of them are hanging out near celebrities. So this one is from the last Grammy Awards, the 2019 one. It says...
Well, how many K-pop people even attend the Grammy Awards? That really narrows it down.
Yeah. It says, a member of this foreign-born A-plus list group started screaming at a translator to the point where the woman started crying. And it's like, okay, how many
BTS
foreign A-plus list groups?
I'm guessing it's BTS.
Well, they were at that Grammys.
Right. Well, who else was?
And this one...
I think nobody, right?
Yeah, I don't think any other acts went to that Grammys. This one is one that he said the name of it afterwards. He said, yes, this one is about BTS.
Oh, okay. He said it was about them. Okay.
But first he'll put it out there and like everybody will speculate or whatever.
So you said that somebody was screaming at a translator.
Yeah, and I think...
What was the problem with the translator?
I think I know what this situation was.
Oh, wow. How? Why?
Because there's like other clips of them being interviewed and whatnot, and there was one...
Who? Really? Okay.
Yeah,
go on.
There was a moment where BTS was being interviewed, and whoever it was telling him, hey, Jin, we want you to kiss V on the cheek. And then he was like, no, I don't want to. Why do I have to do what everyone says? And he was just kind of like, oh, I'm not going to do that. And just kind of like...
Well, yeah, why would he want to do that?
Yeah, and it's like they don't normally do that anyway, but for whatever reason, this person was saying, hey, do that so we can take a picture of that. And well, like this is happening while they're on the red carpet or whatever, being interviewed and
I see.
Something like that.
So they're saying Jin screamed at this person?
Yeah, I think that's the situation they're talking about, and that I think this one is just like a misunderstanding. It's just like he didn't want to do that, and
Uh-huh.
maybe it looked like he was yelling at the translator or something. But because otherwise, this blind doesn't really make sense. Like, why would BTS yell at a person?
Well, who was telling him to kiss somebody on the cheek?
An interviewer or somebody on some person in the media on the sidelines.
I see. Well, yeah, I would scream at them too. I'd say no, I don't want to do that. I don't blame them. I believe it's true too. This rings true to me, but it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
one.
people are just like, there's just like all this give and take, and there's push and give. Like people are demanding things of you in these situations, and it's your right to push back as a human being. And what might have been interpreted as yelling, maybe it's just like you're forcefully saying, "No, I don't want to do this." Mm-hmm. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, you have the right to assert that you don't want to do stuff. So if you raise your voice, then okay. So
Yeah, I think he was just protesting that command or whatever. He's like, no,
Right.
I'm not doing that.
right.
And maybe whoever was observing this that sent the tip in was like, oh my God, he was yelling at this person.
Right, especially if they don't know they were saying in Korean or anything like that. It might have seemed like yelling, which, in fairness, a lot of people talking Korean just seems like yelling to me. Even when they're honestly, they're not yelling. Mm-hmm. But it seems like yelling to me. I think maybe it's just sort of a yelling language. There's some languages like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Where it's just like you raise your volume at certain.
Right. So it might have seemed like he was yelling, but he wasn't really yelling. He was just saying, no, I'm not going to do that. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to kiss this person. It's just going to like make people ship us even more. No. So I believe that as a blind item.
Okay. Yeah, I guess technically
It's not that outrageous.
it's true,
I
but
totally believe it.
it wasn't how it first read. It wasn't like, oh, this person's screaming at a translator for no reason.
The word screaming is just so wide to interpretation. He said something, and some people, it was a higher volume than normal. Some people might call that screaming, but probably it was just a higher volume,
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Very
here's
subjective.
the next one is another one that's revealed, and this was in August.
Is it the same guy, the fat lawyer? I
Yeah,
don't even think it's the fat lawyer.
well, he wrote all of these, so.
Oh, okay.
But this item says these two K-pop stars are dating/hooking up, but had to agree to having one of their hookup sessions recorded to be used as collateral in case they try to break free from their respective managers. And this
Did it
is
say who it is?
this says it's about Kang Daniel and Gio from Twice.
Oh, really?
Their
Wow.
their relationship.
Well, no, that I don't know if I believe that, because like Gio's not. They don't need collateral in her to break free from her manager. She has the same contract everybody else has.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need dirt on her. As far as I understand, they don't need dirt on her to keep her in her contract.
Do they think like, okay, if they have a relationship, they might try to get away from their labels, like the same way like Edon and Hyuna?
That's not what happened with those two. Though.
Yeah, they didn't just run off. They were like
fired.
Yeah.
That's not what happened to those two. They were fired. That doesn't ring true to me, because they don't need collateral on her. They don't. She has a contract just like everyone else. So
Right. And she doesn't seem like someone who's trying to be independent or
and
anything
what is
like
she
that.
going to do as an independent artist? She's obviously much stronger and healthier in Twice.
Yeah.
So I don't see her label trying to. Wait, what did it say? What did they record them doing? Having sex?
A hookup session, which I'm not sure what that
What is a
means.
hookup session? Does that mean like
It's
having
like,
sex?
I hope not. It's like, did someone have to sit there and film it, or did it's like, hey, give us a tape
Wow,
of one of your?
But I just don't see that being the case, because it's in her best interest to stay in Twice.
Yeah, that's,
And I don't think
that's what
that.
I'm saying. I don't even think
I think she has. It's not like they are contractually weak with her either, right? They have control over her for a good long time. I don't think they need any sort of. Yeah, they don't need any extra.
Well, this would only be true if, for some reason, Gio was like super dissatisfied and was like looking for a way to leave twice.
Well,
But
why
I
would
don't.
she be dissatisfied?
I don't think
And
she
also,
thinks that.
there's no legal grounding for her. I'm sure that her contract with Twice is airtight, as much as anybody else's is, right? I don't see that at all. I really don't. Did they say it's about them specifically, or is that just your interpretation?
No, it says that's them.
Oh, it says that their companies are using
Maybe it's not about the company because it says it's about the managers. Maybe the managers
What is the
are
difference between company
worried
and
about
manager,
something.
though?
I don't know.
No, I don't. No.
Well, if you
Managers?
well don't the managers get assigned to each person? Like, oh, one person's watching Geo, some other manager is
Yes.
watching someone else.
No. But I don't. That's not separate from the company, though.
Well, I'm just saying maybe one manager is like worried about their position. They're like, oh, Geo dating this guy is like not good for me, so maybe I need to keep a tape of this just in case.
Okay.
I don't
That
know.
would be okay. That would be super shady, but
I don't know. We hear all these like, oh, ugly stuff is happening in the K-pop industry, and like we only hear about certain things like way after the fact. So I don't know. Maybe this is.
I just want to know what a hookup session means. What are they doing during
that's
this
the
hookup session?
the key part here.
Is it X-rated? I really hope so. Is it X-rated? Oh my god, Jesus! Or is it just like innocent? They're kissing each other. I just no. This one I don't believe.
Okay.
Let's move on because I don't believe that. I don't believe that her contract is weak, and the company feels like it needs anything on her. Why does the company need anything on her?
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't even have a dating ban. She's out of her dating ban. So what is it that what leverage do they have on her? If there is footage of her, quote unquote, hooking up, she doesn't have a dating ban, correct?
Right.
Well, and why would they want to harm their own artist in this way, who is already under contract?
Oh, and then like the other part of it is
She's under contract with them.
the King Daniel part of it, but then he is in his own label, so it's like.
But that has nothing to do with her.
But I
label.
mean, no one is like exerting anything over him.
Right. He has his own label. Exactly. He has his own label. So this story doesn't make sense when it said that the respective labels are like holding it over
That's
them.
true. It did say
well,
both
he
sides.
has his own label. So he's holding it over himself?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. No.
He's bribing himself.
And
or blackmailing himself.
I don't think that JYP would be blackmailing Geo. Like, first of all, she's under contract. They are happy with their working relationship. I can only assume it's successful, right? Mm-hmm. She doesn't have a dating ban. It doesn't seem like news of her dating is harming anything. So I don't see why JYP, the company, would care that much. Like, they're not, a jealous ex-boyfriend or anything. They only have business concerns. And the business concern of whether she's dating or not, clearly, is not a concern. Because people know she's dating. Has it harmed Twice? Has not. So I'm sure the company just doesn't care. This one doesn't ring true. So whoever gave this information to Fat Lawyer, wrong. I don't think it's a fat lawyer. I think it's total lie. But move on.
This one, I tried to find because he'll post the item and then he'll post the revealed as a new post, and I couldn't find it revealed, but I could have sworn it was. But anyway,
just pretend it was and go on. Yeah.
Okay, because there's a lot of people that think the same thing.
Okay,
so let's
so
just assume
it
was revealed. So it says here, there is a lot of buzz that a member of this foreign-based, all-female group had sex with one of the decision makers at this promotion company, which is how they secured such a high billing at a big concert, despite not much output to secure that high of a billing. What does that sound like?
It sounds like Blackpink.
Yeah, this does sound like Blackpink at Coachella.
Yeah.
Which I remember at the time when they showed the poster that says all the names of people performing there.
Right.
I was like, wow, Blackpink, they really have a big font. They're that big right now? Because I was like, I'm not sure that they are, but okay, I guess maybe I'm not aware of everything that's going on. But yeah, I guess they're trying to say that one of them slept with somebody to get that high billing.
Okay.
Which I didn't really believe this one when I read it. I was like,
I
well,
don't. Well, did they say specifically who, and what are the people saying? Who do they think it was?
let's see. Since most of these people don't even know who Blackpink is, but a lot of them guessed Blackpink. Let's see. People think Jennie.
I just don't believe it.
I don't see that one happening.
I don't see it happening. Here's the thing. Yes, you know, this is an industry like any other. The music industry is a little more underhanded and a little more scuzzy than most industries that you think of. So this stuff, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I don't think there's any need for YG to put its artists at risk for this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying something similar to this doesn't happen, but let's just put it this way. They could easily, well, number one, they could easily, yes, sex is often used to sway decision makers, but it doesn't have to be the artists. You know, they could easily just hire people to do this sort of thing.
Right. Like, I think this
Right.
could happen, but not with the 4 members.
Right.
Like, I think
There's
YG would think of sending
Yeah,
girls
there's
to this guy.
There's just no reason for them to risk their actual artists,
Yeah.
right? Because they're an asset to them. You don't want to necessarily risk their mental health, this and that, to secure this thing when you could just pay, right? And Blackpink is, you know, even though, you know, people listening to this are K-pop fans, so they may not understand this, but, you know, for most of the world, Blackpink is they're not a big deal, right? It's not like, you know, some famous girl you want to sleep with or whatever. So then that would sway an executive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they don't really know who these girls are, then what's the difference between them and just an escort that you pay? You could easily just pay some escorts and send them over, which also, by the way, has a certain monetary value, which is not very high. Because remember, the decision makers you're trying to sway, they can afford this sort of thing. They can afford escorts or this sort of thing. It's not like, oh my god, an escort. They probably, it would be like, I hate to be crude about it, but it would be like somebody trying to sway my decision by buying me a meal at McDonald's. Is it nice of you? Yes, thank you. I appreciate that you bought a McDonald's meal for me. That's super nice. So thank you. I appreciate it. But at the same time, I buy meals at McDonald's for myself all the time. So is it going to sway my decision making that much? Mm-hmm. No. Mm-hmm. And you can say, but maybe they offer up a Blackpink member. But then let's say you're an American decision maker, you don't even really know who Blackpink is, so it's not that big of a deal to you.
Right.
It's just, it doesn't make sense on like the value isn't there. Like it doesn't seem like it's worth it to put your members through this.
Yeah.
They're your assets, right? They're your monetary assets. Damaging their mental health, their physical health for an upside that seems minimal, because people stateside they weren't necessarily familiar with Blackpink. I feel that the reason why Blackpink got such a good Coachella, I did see they had a pretty high billing, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
But let me ask you this: go to that Coachella billing, look at the other artists. What other artists were that big that you would think, oh my gosh, it's Coldplay, it's Ariana Grande, it's this. What artists beneath them did you think, oh no way, they should be above them? Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to say, it was a weak year for Coachella.
Yeah.
It was a weak year for Coachella. As far as I remember, their headliner was like Donald Glover and Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
And beneath that, it was just very, very weak. Besides Blackpink, which by a lot of accounts is also a weak act, because at stateside, lots of people didn't know who they were, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, besides Donald Glover and Ariana Grande, it was just a weak lineup overall, which is in contrast to previous lineups where they had better names better, American known names, right? Even Donald Glover, I don't consider him that big of a name.
Yeah.
Really. Like in some circles, yes, but in most circles, no. The only real big name was Ariana Grande, and it was almost a hang up because she asked for so much money, right? But when you wonder why Blackpink had such a high billing, look at the names below them. Was there anything that awesome that stood out to you? It was a weak year. I believe that they had a great billing because it was a weak year, and the promoters were prescient enough to understand that, hey, K-pop seems like a thing this year, so we're going to give them this billing.
Oh, I think I remember. Wasn't Billie Eilish there? But she
no.
was a lower name. It was like
At the time,
she wasn't as huge.
If she was a lower name.
Because I vaguely remember like people we knew, and then they tried to go see her show, and like her area was like way too crowded or something. But it was because she was at a small stage, because she wasn't like super huge right then.
Yeah,
I think
she's a newer thing, and we do know a bunch of assholes who went to Coachella. We know so many people who went to Coachella. Sorry to say that about you guys, but yeah, that's my judgment about you. I don't think that much about you, but thankfully we're anonymous, so the people we know who went to Coachella don't know that we're saying this about them. But yeah, you're dumb. Waste the money. Sorry. Oh, okay. Gosh, we know so many people who went to Coachella. We know like a dozen people who went to Coachella. Thankfully, I can say I've never been there. I'm proud to say that.
I'm looking up the poster right now.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Childish Gambino was the big name.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande. Tame Impala. I don't know who that is. That was the other
rock group.
Equally big name as them, apparently.
Mm-hmm. And then beneath that was Blackpink, right? But look at the names beneath Blackpink.
Yeah, I don't recognize.
It's not huge names
90% of these.
Right? So the idea that they would have to send, Jennie to sleep with anybody. First of all, apologies to anyone who thinks that Jennie is super, super attractive and that being able to sleep with her should sway influential person's opinion or actions regarding Coachella. But I just hate to tell you, she's not. No, I don't know if she's not that attractive, but it's just not that big of a deal, okay? You have to understand that people in power in this industry in LA, they get to sleep with girls of this level of attractiveness all the time. It's not worth that much to them, okay? So for you to... theoretically, if you were to send Jennie to sleep with somebody, it's just not a big bargaining tool. It just isn't. So I don't think that's why Blackpink was the billing that's why they had the billing they had. No, absolutely not. No, this stuff that you are talking about, it's just not going to sway people at all. It really isn't. It's just not that big of a deal. It's hard if you're a K-pop fan. You're probably thinking, "Wow, Jennie, she's this and that." I'm like, I sort of agree with you. But think about the decision makers that you're talking about. She's just not that big of a deal to them.
Yeah, these are people in LA, and it's
they're
like
in LA,
they're
no K-pop.
And they're seeing like young actresses and young singers and all kinds of like attractive people that live in LA, and
they get to sample girls of this quality all the time. It's just not that big of a deal. It's not going to make you a headliner at Coachella. It really is not. So, on the one hand, I guess maybe it's insulting because we're telling you that Jennie Kim is not a big deal. But on the other hand, maybe you should be happy because it probably this really gross, unfortunate thing didn't happen to them. I don't think it did because this type of thing is not going to sway anybody in LA. Mm-hmm. This is LA we're talking about, okay? Right. You're not going to get a major thing like, hey, just put us X place in Coachella just by sending Jennie. No, it's just not going to happen.
And you could say, oh, YG, they're unethical and this and that. It's like, they're not dumb, though. They're not going to just like
I
put their
agree that
artists
they're
through
I agree
stuff
that
like that.
Yeah, sure, they're unethical, but even a person acting unethically in this case, acting unethically is not going to achieve the thing that you want. Like you would say, hey, what if we sent so and so? I'm sure the decision maker would say, no, because that's not a big deal to me here. You know, you're going to send a girl like that. I see girls like that every Friday. You know, I'm not gonna rearrange my Coachella plans or my Coachella lineup because you sent a girl on a Friday. No, you have to come up with more than that. Either money or what I think legitimately in this case, people just realize that Blackpink, hey, they're a big name. They're an upcoming name. They can go on the internet just like anybody else, right? They can see their views. They can see that they're an act that's up and coming. They can see all of these things. That's what sways them, okay? That and cold hard cash, which I don't think that I don't think they paid them, right? So I think that everything they got, they earned. Everything they get in America, they earned, because Americans, they're not gonna say, oh, yeah, send Jenny. No, she's nobody to them. She's just another girl. I'm not saying like this kind of casting couch stuff doesn't happen. It does, but it's just not enough to sway decision makers in this country, because Blackpink is not a big deal in this country. That's just what I think. I don't think that they're a big deal. So the only thing that would sway their decision making is self-interest. So the only reason why they would put Blackpink in a primary spot is because they thought they're an up-and-coming group. This is going to get us some publicity. It's going to be good for us, right? And they put them there. And you know what? They were right. I'm pretty sure that Coachella benefited from putting Blackpink in that position, because I'm pretty sure they brought a positive, a surplus of attention. Right? More than another. They're not a headline group, but they were like a secondary group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure that they brought more attention than another secondary group would have brought. So, success. Nobody has to go sleep with anybody. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but in this situation, no, I don't think it happened.
Yeah. I didn't think that one happened. Okay, the last one today. Some people may not want to hear this one, so here's your chance to pause or skip over.
No, let's hear it.
Okay.
Let's hear
No, I'm just
uncomfortable
saying
things.
the listener.
Me?
No.
Oh, yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
But I definitely want to hear it now.
Okay, this one was revealed, so there's a name that he put for this one. It says, "It isn't a rumor. This male K-pop singer was doing lines of coke and did have a threesome while out of the country." And
A male K-pop singer was doing coke, okay?
and had a threesome.
First of all, coke, no big deal. Lots of people do coke. Second of all, threesome with who, though? Just like random people?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so they reveal it. Who is it?
This is about Jimin.
Jimin? Well, but like, who are the threesome people?
It doesn't say their names or anything, but this is probably about when they were on vacation for 35 days, and a bunch of them, the members, were traveling out of the country. So we know for a fact that they were in other countries doing whatever that we didn't see,
Right.
Because we only saw their vlogs, which
Right.
had very little information.
True.
As we recapped
Intentionally.
earlier. And
As we recapped earlier, and I said,
there was, we know that Jimin visited multiple places. He did the most traveling out of all of them. And he went to Paris and Russia. And there's this clip that went viral that was like some person on Instagram took a video of him at a bar in Paris. And he was just like having fun, having a good time with like a bunch of random people. I mean,
Good.
there was nothing crazy that happened in that video, but it kind of puts him in a place where it's like, oh, he was drinking. He's obviously having a good time in
like
Paris.
a normal person.
Yeah, like a regular person.
Yeah.
So we know that he was like probably out there partying in foreign countries.
Well, so did they name him in this?
Yeah, it says BTS Jimin.
Oh, okay.
Revealed.
Well, congratulations. I'm happy for him.
This one I believe, I think.
I totally believe that people who are rich and famous do coke. and I totally believe that people who are in demand can have sexual threesomes. I don't know what is there not to believe here.
Right. He's a rich 25-year-old male.
Yeah, so why wouldn't? Yeah, I don't.
Well, I think he wouldn't be doing coke if he was in Korea because you don't want to get caught with any of
Right.
that or have a picture
Right.
taken or anything like that. But if you're in a foreign country, you probably you're safe to not get caught.
Yeah, and if you were an American, this blind item wouldn't even be like a blind item. It'd be like so and so jaywalked.
Yeah, this blind item is true of thousands of people in Hollywood.
So and so is a famous celebrity.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me that. That's great news. And
here's what you'd have to do.
Do you have news? For
You'd
me?
have to write, these people did coke today, and it's a list of 1,000 names.
Yes,
of,
these people
celebrities.
Did coke today. And then they also had a threesome. It's like, oh, but with who? Oh, just some people. Okay, so what? You might as well have just told me that some celebrities breathed oxygen today. Some celebrities, they took a breath in, and they breathed in some oxygen, and they exhaled carbon dioxide. No, carbon. Yeah, carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide.
Yeah. You might as well have said that. In other words, it's not news. It's not news at all.
This one is believable
If Jimin did
if you
this,
think about it.
I congratulate
People
him.
don't want to believe it, though. I think they want.
Who doesn't want to believe it?
No, people want to think, oh, they have this image, or they don't do.
I just hope
any
they're
crazy
attractive
things.
people, and I also hope it was a guy and two girls.
Right.
Did they specify whether it was a guy and two girls or two guys and girls?
It just says threesome.
Well, I want to give him credit and say it was guy and two girls. Guy and two girls.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably was.
Probably. But that's what I would like to think. But that's not mentioned in the item.
No, it didn't have that much detail.
Okay. And the whole Coke thing, hey. Maybe it's hard for people to hear in K-pop because they're used to people being very straight-laced.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, hey, in the West, this is just par for the course. This is par for the course. And we don't judge our celebrities for doing this sort of stuff. In fact, one of our bestest, most amazing, most beloved celebrities, Robert Downey Jr., is famous for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And nobody thinks less of him. We just we love him even more. Even when he went to jail, which I don't agree with to this day, by the way. He went to jail for being a drug user. By the way.
Yeah.
We
We shouldn't punish people for doing things
I don't think
that they want to do.
I mean, I think he should have gotten help, because he had a problem. He has a substance use problem, but that seems like a mental health or physical health issue, which his employer and his health provider should work through. I don't think it's not an issue for the justice system, in my opinion. Anyway, it's my soapbox for the day. I don't think that he should. Anyway, the point is, he did a lot of stuff like this. And you know what? We love Robert Downey Jr. We love him.
Mm-hmm. Remember one time he woke up in someone else's house randomly?
Yes. How can you not love that? He once got so high and drunk, or combination of the two, that he woke up in he broke. I guess he must have broken into somebody's house.
He thought it was his house.
He thought it was his house, but it was clearly not his house. Okay? And basically he broke into somebody's house, and he slept in some kid's bed.
And he was naked too, wasn't he?
Was he?
I don't know.
Anyway, the people found him, and they said, "Who's this naked man sleeping on?" They called the police, and then they realized, "Oh wait, it's Robert Downey Jr." I bet you anything, if they realized that at the outset, they would not have called the police. But anyway, they did, and I guess if you're sleeping naked in the kid's bed, you kind of are asking for the police to be called on you. I mean, we can't really, because the police don't know what your intentions are, even though in hindsight we know that he didn't have any bad intentions.
Right.
He was just being...
He just partied too hard
he was just being
that day.
He was just being a cool Robert Downey Jr., And we know that now in hindsight. But at the time, if you open your kid's bedroom door and there's like a naked man sleeping there, well, obviously,
Right.
you're not going to react to that too well. Right?
He's lucky he didn't get attacked or something.
Yes. But in hindsight, we know that he didn't have bad intentions, and he's still the cool guy we know him to be. That's why we don't hold it against him. He got work afterwards, and he became Iron Man and made hundreds of millions of dollars because he's just a great guy. And anyway, I hope to God that Jimin did have a threesome, that he did do coke, and that he had a male, female threesome. Not two males and a female.
And I think it was like partying coke. I'm pretty sure, like, if this happened, I don't think he has some kind of problem. This was just like, oh,
Right.
I'm partying, and this is what people do here
In America.
in other countries
Yeah.
that are not Korea.
Right.
That this is what people do.
I
so
bet you anything they do it in Korea too.
they probably do, but
Yeah, they just keep it under the wraps better.
I can't believe they are like ratting out people for smoking weed in Korea. It's like that's still okay. Anyway, the topic for another day. But
Well, I'm happy. Yeah, that's awesome. He had a threesome.
but
and
he's
was doing
smart
coke.
to do it out of the country. Like, don't risk it in Korea where things might get blown out of proportion.
Did
If
they
someone
say
says
who?
something.
Well, they weren't famous people. Obviously.
No, these probably whoever leaked this was like, a friend of, someone who was involved in
Okay.
that. I don't know.
Fine. Were there not juicier details?
No, it just says
They just had a
that one
threesome?
line. They just said that happened. And that was that one.
Well, I mean, it may be hard to hear for K-pop stans, for BTS stans. You like to think that these people are innocent, but they're not. And also, you can still take solace in the fact that they're a lot more innocent than American celebrities. Trust me. Doing some coke and having a threesome, very innocent by our standards.
Oh yeah. If you're gonna look on this website, crazydaysandnights.net, you're gonna see a lot worse things about
Yes.
all these other Western artists.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
many, many, many blinds about them.
It's just going to be the most depraved stuff that you have ever seen in your life.
Yeah, honestly, I read this site and I think really poorly of a lot of people now. But
Maybe this should be a topic for more podcasts.
well, these K-pop ones are more like fun ones, more speculative ones. But
Yeah. Well, I can just tell you right now that if I were a celebrity and I had a bunch of power and money and free time, I would do much worse. So I can only imagine that's probably what American celebrities do. Worse.
mm-hmm.
I would definitely be, doing some coke and having a threesome. That's like a wholesome hour. That's like almost like going to church on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to what American artists are doing,
Yeah.
I guarantee you, that is very wholesome.
Yeah, Western artists, they're out of control.
Please, don't judge him for this. He was just having fun. It was his vacation. It was probably the first vacation he's had in like 7 years.
Yeah.
So, just imagine he was just like having fun. It was probably not even that planned. He was just out having fun, and people said, "Hey, you're BTS, and you want to do some coke?" And he's like, "Oh, sure. I mean, first time for everything, or maybe it wasn't his first time, but let's give him credit and say maybe it was his first time, right?" And then you're BTS, and then like a bunch of attractive girls are around, and they're like, "Hey, I want to have sex with you," and then I want to have sex with you. Like, that's awesome. I would love to have sex with attractive girls, but then they say, "Well, you have one day, and there's 3 of us, or 2 of us, or whatever. I mean, the logistics only dictate that you should have a threesome with us, right?" Hey, you can't argue. You can't argue with logistics, correct? That's all I'm saying. It's not the worst.
Yeah.
Read the site. Read what Western celebrities do. And you'll see. This is tame. This is really tame
Yeah,
stuff.
it is compared to everything else
It
that's
is
on
tame. I had You know, had a threesome. I did some coke. That's like a Tuesday. That's like a Tuesday for Leonardo DiCaprio, or I don't know.
Yeah,
Just throw a
or
name out there.
whoever.
You know, just throw a name out there. That's like a Tuesday. So he was basically engaging in a Tuesday, which is to say, pretty normal, tame stuff. So, don't worry about it. And it was probably in L.A. That's my guess. Did he go to L.A. for his trip?
Oh, he was in Paris and he was in Russia.
Oh, he was having sex with some Russian
Hawaii.
girls. Awesome. Or some Hawaiian girls.
Yeah, it doesn't actually say where this happened. I just assumed it was during the Paris part of the trip, but who knows? It could have been
in any one of these places.
Any of these places, it could have happened.
These are Western countries. So it stands to reason that he just ran into some people that wanted to party. Partying means coke. He ran into people who want to have sex with him. I'm sure plenty of people do. He had a limited amount of time. It's multiple people.
Yeah.
Logistics dictate that a threesome would need to happen.
Good time was had.
We can assume. Good blind item.
Yeah.
Is that bad? That's not bad at all. That's great. And I don't think it's that salacious or anything. It's just, this is the type of stuff that happens. But if you're a K-pop fan, maybe you don't like to think about this stuff. But just trust me, it happens.
Yeah. And
congrats, guys. It happens though. It happens.
And we're gonna talk about it. We're not gonna be.
We are. We're gonna do more blind items.
We're not gonna not talk about it.
We're not gonna not talk. I'm happy to hear it. I didn't know about this. I don't read this sort of stuff, but I believe a lot of it. These stuff, they're not made out of whole cloth. This stuff comes from somewhere.
Yeah, even if this site is not 100% true, it's like, okay, some of these are true. Some of them are actual tips.
Yeah.
You just have to try to use your knowledge to figure out what's what.
Use your brain. Use your common sense.
Yeah.
This last one definitely feels very common sense to me.
Yeah, that one sounded pretty true.
Right.
So
there's nothing about it that makes me say, well, that wouldn't happen for this, and that reason. Like, why wouldn't any of this happen? Of course this would happen. In fact, if this didn't happen, I would be wondering, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
There's something going on if this sort of stuff didn't happen. Like, do they have handlers that are, restricting their movements and behavior or something like that? I would have to think something weird, something off is happening. Something different is happening to prevent this sort of stuff.
I think they travel with managers even on their private vacations.
Well, yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like, whatever manager was traveling with Jimin is probably, like, helping him. And it's like, oh, let me make sure he doesn't get too wasted on these things. And
I'll make sure you don't die, but you can go ahead and do one line of coke and have sex with 2 girls. But
it's like,
not like a girl and a guy and 3 guys or whatever. It's like, I'm going to control it. Maybe that's
he's probably waiting outside the door just to make sure like nothing crazy.
Right,
like,
and also I'm gonna make sure nobody takes pictures.
Yeah, like he'll take people's phones away and stuff like that. So
that's what a good.
I think that's why
what a good handler does.
It seems like that's why they travel with managers. Not why, but like they always seem to have a manager with them, even on their vacations.
If you were like a famous Western artist, that's definitely why you have them. I think that if you were a K-pop artist, sometimes the managers are there to actually control your behavior, to prevent you from doing stuff like this.
Right.
But I do get the sense that BTS has gotten so big that they've sort of transcended that, where they can sort of do more of what they want. And let's be real, if you're a super famous celebrity, a young man who has money and fame, what you're going to be wanting to do is to do lines of coke and have sex with attractive women. And this is part of what you're going to want to do, right?
Yeah, it's like your privilege as a celebrity.
Yeah, this is the type of stuff that you'd want to do. This is the type of stuff that I want to do if I were in the same shoes. So, yeah, I can imagine this is the type of stuff you'd want to do. It doesn't strike me as odd that this would be happening. I'm pretty sure that this one did happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so, good for him. I only wish, like, was it just him? What were the other BTS members doing? Were they wasting their time? They should have been having.
I don't know. We don't have any.
Of coke.
We don't have any
Doing
blind items
threesomes.
on them,
Oh,
on
okay.
their vacation, so.
I guess he was the only one. I mean, I saw some of their vacations. Like Jungkook was working out supposedly. RM was looking at stuff, art.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they all have different tastes, so maybe they're not all doing the same things. And as we've established in previous episodes, lots of them have girlfriends too. Even though they don't tell you about it, they have girlfriends.
Right.
Yeah, so maybe they don't want to, necessarily do all this kind of stuff if they have a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Although that's never stopped American celebrities, like athletes and things like that. But whatever it is, good for him. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you to our guest, Morgan. You can find BTS Happy Hour on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, and iHeartRadio. New episodes are available weekly. Be sure to comment, review, or rate in the podcast platform you're using. Follow us on Twitter @OurBTS, @HOURBTS. Until next time, this has been the BTS Happy Hour. Thanks for listening, and remember, make every hour a happy one.